Oh, we are there yet now, though. That's for sure. So, yeah. So before we get started, the one thing I wanted to say was 2468. Who do we appreciate? DB, DB, DB.
And now, on with the show.
Time for bladder check. Check.
Check.
Check. Wait. Screw it. I'm holding it.
Podcasting, the final audio frontier. These are the legends of Brown Squadron.
Our computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
The ongoing mission? To explore the Star Wars universe and other nerd culture topics. To seek new content and new cantinas, bars, and lounges. To boldly annoy Scruffy by making too many bad jokes. Welcome to the Hyperspace Heroes Podcast.
All right, and welcome to Hyperspace Heroes. This is Brown Leader signing in. All wings report in.
Brown 55 signing in.
Brown 22 signing in. Aaron, every time I see your stuff, it becomes more epic. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm like blown away by the increase in production values and the extra things. I am very impressed, Brown Leader. I am very, very impressed. Like that intro. Oh my God! Like
we've kind of all built it from scratch. We started this thing with, and thank you, by the way. We started all this with a shoestring budget of 0 and kind of built up over time. The theme music I got off of Free Music Archives, and then I kept pressuring my youngest, who went to film and new media school. I paid for his bachelor's degree. Pressured him until he helped me with the intro. So Brownie won, or thank you for that, by the way. And then, and like his best friend. So the two of them taught me the basics of podcasting, because they had, back when they were in their college age years, they were doing a podcast on the cheap on their own. And they taught me how to do kind of the basics, and they've given me tips and tricks along the way and kind of help build this show with us. So Brownie 1 and 1.5 are huge parts of that. And yeah, I just keep adding, as we learn new things. Part of this for me has been learning the technology, teaching an old dog new tricks, right? And,
well, it's not only the technology, it's your caliber of guests, us excluded. Maybe Mark is actually a legitimate guest. Like, I am obviously just happy to be here. And then the flavor of content. Like, I don't think people realize that podcasting or any kind of live media is a skill, and you work on like a good voice, not making extra additional noises, not cutting people off like I did.
right, exactly. But yeah, it's been, and part of it too, part of my influence has been the disc jockeys that we grew up with, and right, that's been kind of some of the flair of this show that I've brought into it, is listening to. I was just telling somebody the other day that I used to listen to Howard Stern before he became famous, when he was a local disc jockey in Washington, D.C. back in the before Reagan was shot, and if that puts anything into context, and before he became famous. So some of those, you remember that growing up, we always listened to the disc jockeys, right? The morning guys, right? And all the antics. And before the syndication started, and even after syndication, all the bells and whistles and hoops and hollers and zoops and things, and you know what I mean? And
this is very much a Detroit phenomenon, even more so than maybe other places. Like, it was very common for us to drive 35 minutes to get to a friend's house, right? At like 75 miles per hour. Like, the largest like urban area in all of America is the Detroit sprawl. So like radio became such like a thing. So we were trapped with it and trapped is exactly, you had no options. We were trapped with it for like 70 minutes a day at a minimum. Like, and that's definitely part of the thing. Now, I have an old guy test for you.
Oh,
are you ready?
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
If you were old timey going to have some sort of massive like break with reality, what are the top 5 people would you say you would, by media, like media stereotype, not like what you actually would choose, but top 5 people that people would know you're crazy because you think you are. Like this was one of those common tropes before we had like a real understanding of what mental health was, right? If you remember, like you knew a person was crazy if they thought they were, and insert your top 5 people, Brown Leader.
Oh, geez, that's
old timey. We're gonna do old timey.
Old timey. If we thought, okay.
If we saw on like Looney Tunes or on a comedy show or Gilligan's Island or whatever it was, the person had a break with reality because they suddenly thought they were top 5 people.
If they were
famous people, come on.
Oh, like, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Geez.
I'm gonna give you a
Jane Fonda.
Let's say that'd be funny. That I love that as an answer, but obviously Santa Claus is one.
Right.
Okay.
So Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, right?
Easter Bunny would be on that list, but Easter Bunny is not top 5. Come on, give me some more people that you'd like.
God.
Obviously God/Jesus is number 1 answer. Boom, 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 boom. But I'm trying to see if you come up with these last 2 or 3 answers. Haven't thought about this in a while, have you?
No. Buddha, maybe.
No.
No. Okay.
Maybe 80s. No.
A D&D player. No, that's probably right.
Yeah. Oh, we got Mazes and Monsters. That is a great throwback. Tom Hanks thought he was his D&D character. That is a good answer. Super duper nerdy, but not one of the answers we're looking for. All right. Last answer for the Family Feud, Brown Leader.
Oh, geez. I am not scoring 200 on this one. That's for sure.
No, you're not getting your 200. Thank you for knowing all the rules.
Right. So I'll just throw out, I'll say Michael Jordan. There we go.
Oh, no.
Which I know isn't right.
No.
I wasn't going to hit the goal anyway, so.
No. If I said little people hitting each other, who would you attest that quote to?
Little people hitting each other.
That's what I like. Little people hitting each other.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez. I'm blanking.
And the answer, of course, is Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, yes. How
many people were running around like that? Was one of the funny choices. Like the French emperor was interesting because
you know what's funny about that is so we do a segment called DB's Blockbusters where we review old movies from back in the day, and our last one was Time Bandits. So
you have failed your people and me in such a way.
I have.
Oh, we're gonna send you back to flight school, Brown Leader. That was
right.
Not.
Oh,
Mark is like, why am I living through this conversation again?
Right, exactly. So welcome, guys. Anyway, this isn't about me and the growth of this show. This is about having you guys on. So welcome to Hyperspace Heroes. This is episode 96 or 121 on the Spotchka scale. And we have Mark and Seppy back with us tonight. We're going to be talking Kickstarters. We're going to be talking the end of the line. We're going to be talking, probably we'll delve into a little RPGs. And then, we'll see where the conversation, I'm sure, as in the description of this video, many 90-degree turns are going to be taken at a moment's notice. So,
and this is one of them. Mark, since we're in Star Wars and we're in like breaks with reality, in the books, TV shows, and movies, and I know I have a pick, like, who is the biggest display of a break with reality in all of Star Wars continuity?
I'm gonna go with Lobot in my favorite comic series, just Lando.
Lando. Explain this one. I don't know this one.
So in this comic series, it follows Lando and Lobot as they go on a heist. But the subplot is that Lobot, Lobot's the bald guy with the cybernetic implant. Lobot is losing his mind. Like, literally, he is becoming the implant. So it's like, I like it because it's got a heist. It's got some magic. It's got some Sith magic. It's got a tragic story that's happening in the background.
That is amazing. Brown Leader, you have one?
I
have one if you don't.
Yeah, go for it.
It's obviously Darth Maul. Darth Maul's adventure through Clone Wars and through the animated series. He is the most fully realized character in all of, like, if you consider the animated stuff, new Star Wars. I don't know what you count new Star Wars as, but like the Star Wars that I want to see more of, I guess that's why I call it new Star Wars. Like he again, cybernetics make you crazy. Right? Like him half spider, like he is way out there at the beginning. He is just feral. And then he claws himself back to existence, and then his entire thing is sort of his existential journey afterwards, and it is fantastic. No spoilers.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, he is a top 3 villain for me in Star Wars for sure.
I'm not even a villain. I don't even consider him a villain at that point.
Well, from that, true, but from that part of the universe, you know what I mean. He started a villain, and then, he's kind of his own. I would have, I would have been all for a Solo 2 and 3 where we got to see more Crimson Dawn. I think that would have been a cool piece of the cinematic universe to bring in.
Yeah,
because Ray Park can still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Okay, so welcome back, guys. It's been a while. I know we've been talking, like Mark and I have been talking. Well, part of my job is I got to get us railed back on the rails, right? Exactly. So we are going to talk today. You guys have a under the Fight in the Box company. You guys have a kind of a new game. But an old game, but a new game at the same time. So end of the line, you guys just launched a Kickstarter, which I did contribute to. And absolutely. I love supporting all my friends in their endeavors. And so end of the line, it is what's a quick non-Seppy explanation of the game?
I feel like I should do our catchphrase.
Yeah, go for it.
It is a deadly drafting board game of avoiding the inevitable. What do you do after the world ends? Get in line with everyone else.
There you go.
So you each have a nuclear family of mom, dad, son, daughter, dog, boy, girl, dog. And you have to send them out to collect resources and survive the cards that you play, because lots of bad things happen after the end of the world.
I like to call it take this game, because it's like it's very hard to backstab somebody when all you're armed with is landmines.
Yep.
That's a great. You guys had some you guys had reels up the other day or something where it was showing quick snippets of people's reviews of it, and somebody was like, I hated this game, but I can't wait to play again. And or something to that effect, because it was like because everybody has to be mean or something like that, and
Yeah.
in the game. But this is not your first version of this game, correct?
No. As you know, Brown Leader, I have an inability to let things go.
Mhm.
And so the original version of this we wrote in 2000, or I wrote. I'm so used to including Mark in this. Mark was vital for the rewrite. 2009, I was thinking about exiting corporate America, and Kickstarters were really exciting. And I've been writing games, and I was like, I'm going to write this game based on my eventually would be ex-husband's line karma. And so I wrote the game about how awful it is to stay in line. It was a success. We ended up forming Fight in a Box to publish this actual game, and in 2014 we funded, and in 2015 we delivered 3 months early on our promise, and then early 2017 to 2016 we were sold out. And so it was great. Yeah, the original version is very quirky. It is very like mid-aughts design philosophy. There's a lot going on. And I love it. It's very mean. It's unapologetic, and it is just chock full of every type of terrible post-apocalyptic reference. But we had promised after it sold out in early 2017 that we would get back to it. Well, we chose to get back to it in March of 2020, which was a terrible time to do a game about the end of the world for a number of reasons, because my life completely melted, and the crowdfund for it, we set it at like 10 days. Mark, was it something like it was too short? We were relying on the audience to show up, and we had not updated with the changes in crowdfunding that had happened in 6 years. And so that we ended up pulling that before the last day, or like the last weekend, thinking that this is not going to be the game that we wanted it to be. So I rebooted my life, and then we rebooted the company. And so we launched Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber in early 2021, when I was still homeless. So homeless Seppy and very awesome Mark rebooted how we did things. That game was like a massive success. Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber. We delivered early on that one, 3 months early, despite the fact of making insane amounts of extra content. Which of course gave us the insane idea that we now had to do Conquest Princess. And Conquest Princess, obviously you can see it back there because it needs a timeout. It's 8.3 pounds of nerdy goodness. And and we had promised, okay, after that we'll get back to End of Line. And when we did, Mark and I early this year had it on the playtest schedule. And Mark, how did you con me into like getting that to the table?
We were, let's see, at Protospiel. So Protospiel is a playtesting sort of like local mini convention. They're all over the place, but they're little great things. We were bringing Princess to test one of the final missions.
Because we did the crowdfund for the expansion right after Protospiel, practically.
Yep. And I don't remember how I conned you into putting together a prototype for End of the Line, but we did it within the few days right beforehand.
Right, because I've been mulling on this for a while, because Mark would poke my brain, and I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Why don't you tell me what the rules are? So I wrote those down. I'm like, why don't we look at these cards? Which of these do you think might be in this version of the game? So we narrowed down the cards, and with rules and components in place, we brought a prototype to Protospiel, and we got it to the table a couple times.
I'm
a couple
giggling
times.
because the full image of this is Mark spraying out the original cards all over the place and him just like breadcrumbing me into like doing it. Like, hey,
Yeah.
is this card in
Is
the
this-
game?
yeah.
And then I'm like, no, of course not. How dare you? I am a genius. Why would you even say that? That's how internally that's how it was. But to Mark, I'd be like, no.
So yeah, one of the things I noticed about this game is it's a complete overhaul of
Yeah.
the artwork, the cards, everything. And was that the plan from the get-go, or was that just an evolutionary process?
Yeah. So when we started looking at it again this year, we wanted to bring it more into the modern board gamers sensibilities, right? We wanted to streamline the rules so that it was easier to learn to play and teach. And the original version of it has really like almost Portal like graphics.
Yeah, it's all icons and meeple outlines. It's super minimal, and it's in this a nuclear green box.
Yeah.
But one of the prevailing compliments for Princess when that was crowdfunding was the art and color and all that fun stuff. And I thought that these characters, which we worked through a couple renditions of what this game could look like, but these characters that we ended up going with, which you can see on Seppy's screen behind him, really make cards like that. This specific one, it's funny instead of like, oh.
Well, we talked about earlier, like things from obviously we are marrying Schoolhouse Rock, Looney Tunes, and Let's All Go to the Lobby.
Yes, that ever since I got the art files, you guys sent me the art files, and I've been looking at the artwork. That is all that plays in my head is "Let's go to the lobby."
Which
so good to hear that was an influence.
What we parodied for our Kickstarter video.
Yeah, and it got incepted even worse into Mark's head because Mark's brother did the original a retake of it, and his dad and his brother had a Let's All Go to the Lobby jam session.
We did. And since then, doing all the video stuff for the Kickstarter, I've probably heard about 16 hours of Let's All Get in a Line. It will never leave my head.
No, it's planted. Yeah, no, it's really good at the conventions. Marcus creative director has massively leveled up our company. Like art direction, I have a very particular sense of art direction, which is probably not good for a wide audience. It's super duper minimal. The original fight logo is probably the statement of this. Brownlee, do you have any idea what the original Fight in a Box logo was?
No, I just know the punching.
Yeah, that one's it's fantastic. I feel like it's still.
I have to interrupt. Hold on 1 second. I have to interrupt. Here we go.
There she is, Miss America.
And Scruffy has joined us on the show. Welcome, Scruffy.
What's up?
Thanks for joining us on time.
I'm so glad to be here. Yes, we can now start the show. So welcome to Hyperspace Heroes. This is Brown 2 signing in. Who do we have?
We have a show already in progress. So
no, we need to start over.
No, we're good. No.
All right, how's it going, guys?
I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Brown
about.
55 standing by.
Brown 22 standing by.
Yeah. Take that, sucker.
So what we were just talking about was some of the art influences that went into this, because this is a complete remodel of this game. This is the second version of the game. and it's I'll bring some
Yes.
stuff up on the screen for you, Scruff, so you can see.
Oh yes.
The artwork in this one is a lot more fun, as you can see. And we were just talking about how one of the biggest influences was the "Let's all go down to the lobby" animation from
the drive-in theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And so it's Mark was just telling us that when they kind of rebuilt that song, because they did the video and the artwork, and they've been doing all the production themselves, and he's heard that song probably about 16 hours worth.
Let's go down to the drive-in. Let's go down to
Scruffy,
the
you need to check
drive-in.
out this project and throw us a pity dollar. Like, yeah, you really need.
I'm digging it. I love the artwork in it.
Thank you.
It's very nostalgic. I love that.
Yeah.
Brown Leader, you need to play this with Scruffy and destroy him utterly and completely.
I think we'll have to.
Well, he's going to try to destroy me, but
right on.
Yeah.
Jordan, how are you doing, sir? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, Jordan. Good to hear from you, for sure. So yeah, it's let's go back to the so complete redesign. So you guys had promised a second edition, and with End of the Line being it was your flagship game for a while. It was your premiere show, or your premiere game, the game you launched Fight in a Box with. What you touched on it a little bit, but was there a particular reason you went with an apocalyptic game as your first concept for a game when you were launching Fight in a Box?
That is also an accident. The very first game we had, obviously, is Squirrel or Die, and we had like taken Jamie Stegmaier's like how to crowdfund book very much to heart, and we talked about, hey, one of the things crowdfunding people are having a problem with is like backing people who don't know what they're doing, and that's bad for like how things are doing, and that's very prophetic. So we had started by proving that we could make a game by making 1,200 wood versions of Squirrel or Die by hand, and we went around and I sold them like Girl Scout cookies going to convention to convention. Once we got an audience of a certain size and we knew that this game was exciting to people, we had actually done a test of our local playtesters, and I used to buy people burritos to test our games. Like, the phrase is, come feed me and tell me how terrible of a game designer I am, and then I will get you Chipotle. And so we had all of them group up at our business partner Bob's house, and we did a test. Like, okay, here are our games. And we actually had written another game that we were supposed to launch between Squirrel or Die and End of the Line, which is called Undermined. And in Undermine, it is a hand management game where you have incompetent minions. Absolutely. You have incompetent minions trying to bring you back the things that you need to end the world. The game is amazing. The problem is the people that we had testing this game played a miniatures game called War Machine. Scruffy, are you familiar with miniature gaming?
Some, yes. I've never played, but I'm familiar with it.
Are you familiar with Mark II, like second edition War Machine at all?
Not so much. I know War Machine, but not the editions or anything.
Okay, so War Machine is steampunk fantasy robot battles. Okay. And it has you being like a caster feeding mana to giant robots so that they battle bots each other. But functionally, you can take out the other person's caster, and then you take out their forces. And so it's a very tactical miniatures game. Well, the problem with War Machine is it has a learning curve like this, and it still does. It's unapologetic, right? And so it is very common for people getting into War Machine when they still did that. I mean, War Machine's audience has sort of suffered in the last X number of years. But for you to play that game 6 to 9 months without winning a single game.
I'm used to that.
That is it is brutal. You really need a battle buddy if you're going to learn that flavor of game, because it is so unapologetically like, if you do not understand all the miniatures on the table, you do not understand all the rules. The ability for somebody to snipe your caster and end the game was brutal. Like, it's like just like if you remember chess. Brown leader, like, oh, I'm gonna checkmate you because I know what I'm doing, and boom, 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 boom. Like, it is that level of, did you put in the time enough to understand what I'm doing to you? Those people were at the core of the Fight Fan audience, and they loved Undermine. And Undermine was a fantastic game, but was brutal to learn. And when we took this to the general play testers and the general audience of people, back to the old guy story, if we asked them, hey, we're getting ready to launch our next crowdfund. Do you want it to be Undermined, or do you want it to be End of the Line? And it was so massively in the direction of End of the Line as us. Like, we had just assumed that everybody would have gone with Undermine, but no, it was something like only 5 or 10% of the people at the event, like 2 out of the 31 people, voted for Undermine, which we have this now is the second best videos on Fight in a Box's channel. Like,
they are really good.
Like the adult education, we did a whole series of adult education videos for how to be a supervillain.
Nice.
They are really good for a Kickstarter that never happened. I like the production values on those are cuckoo bananas. Mark, even still, do you think they hold up?
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Yes,
particularly episode 2. Like
cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas.
Bananas. That is awesome. I am using that all the time now.
Scruffy, we had asked this question earlier, and I want to see if you can do this. You ready for this, Scruffy?
No, but bring it on.
All right. If you're gonna, like, old-timey 80s, lose your mind and have a disconnect from reality, and it's going to be on TV or a movie, which 5 characters or people or entities do you think you would have to portray to show your TV or movie or play audience that you have lost your mind? You got 5 guesses. See if you can outdo Brown Leader.
Shouldn't be hard.
Oh my word. Okay, so wow.
Like, back in the day, who would you have to say you were to be crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
In a way that isn't like unapproachable, because people didn't understand old timey like what mental health issues were. And before this is one of the tropes of the stereotypes. So
one of the darker characters, I don't know if it's 80s, but Jack Nicholson, The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right.
Yes.
But that like, think about the people in that instances. We're talking about like tropes from that period of time that you could say, oh, look at that person. They think they are
Doc Brown.
Lincoln.
Doc Brown.
They think no, incorrect. I'm going to give you 2 more guesses, Scuffy. Later, Doc Brown obviously is in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and in Taxi. Like, he played a character with serious like mental health issues. So that I'm going to give you credit for picking an actor who had a history of that kind of stuff. I'm talking like, here's the softball that I also gave Brown Leader. You think you're Santa Claus. What is this?
Santa Claus.
I'm talking like this is the trope. Oh, there we go. Do we want to play this?
Play it.
Is this episode 2?
I'm liking this already.
Okay, we're going to break into our one-on-ones now. So those of you who will be waiting, Review Chapter 6, Creative Body Disposal, Soylent People are green. You're first. Your assignment was poisoning municipal water supplies, not free-form, angsty, sexually ambiguous poetry about sparkly undead love. Though I did appreciate the diagrams. But what I'm talking about is follow-through. I mean, you have a plasma cannon that you want to vandalize the moon with, and then you want to clone Dinoborgs. Finish what you have, and then take on more. You see what I'm saying? You're a grown villain. Stop toying with your heroes. Just lop their heads off and be done with it. Stop gloating. No one achieved world domination by sharing. Rube Goldberg made poor detonators. And so did you. So extroverted evil isn't your thing. There are a lot of introverted villains who have great accomplishments. Attila the Hun, Stalin, the guy who invented the LED headlights. Is this your work? No. Is the person you plagiarized this from still alive? Yeah. You see your mistake? Okay, we're done. We will get to the realities of conquest in our final lesson. But for now, are there any questions?
If you recognize Charles Hubble, he was also in FFG's movie as the main character. He's a puppeteer. Charles is amazing, local, he's an amazing actor, I think, but he's also very local to the Twin Cities. And Charles is great, and he does just a bang up job as the adult education teacher in the series.
Yeah, he was fully committed to the role. That was great.
That's awesome. Okay, yep, I'm looking it up.
We had posted a lot of stuff, and so End of the Line happened. I think this, and now we're doing End of the Line, is just historically what happens. Mark, is that our end karma? And when we try to force it, it doesn't happen. But when it's a surprise.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so you guys to this on the current version, I can get my words out today. On the current version, you guys did change some of the cards you were saying. You guys changed up some of the game mechanics, simplified some of the stuff.
Yeah, the deal is it plays in either a third or half of the time of the original. I loved the mechanisms from the early ones, but 15 years of game design had happened between and gaming, and I actually improved as a game designer in that time, and so I put all that to use within the new version. It sings. It delivers a lot of the same strategy choices, not all of them, but I would say 80% of the same strategy choices in a third of the time. And we took and resurrected or reformed all the mechanisms that made the original great in a new way. Even the stack now has come back because we are on our final weekend challenge, and the stack, which is the core mechanic from the original game, which got reinterpreted into the deadly drafting mechanic, shows up again as the main mechanism for the two-player draft. Because if you've ever played a two-player drafting game, you've got to do things to separate the two players. Me passing cards to you gets really uninteresting after the third go around, the third pass, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you look at successful two-player drafting games like Seven Wonders Duel or any of that kind of stuff, you have to add another mechanism in and around it, or make it a pyramid draft or any of those things. And so we decided to reinsert the stack back into this one. And so, the programming mechanic for programming the autopilot families, it does make it, Mark, what did you call it?
The meanest version of the meanest game in gaming.
The worst date night game in the history of date nights.
The worst date night game in the history of date nights.
You
only want to have one date? Play end of the line. 2
That's true. Like one of our favorite testimonials from this, which has a lot to unpack, is this made my ex-wife cry.
Wow.
Yeah, that was told to me.
Wow.
That was told to me at Adepticon of this year when we were testing this game. Oh, I love this game. Yeah, this made my ex-wife cry.
That's
I'm like, that's great, John.
That's
absolutely great.
Wow, that's awesome. That's something to be proud of there.
Oh yeah, those quotes are all real. Like we protect their last names to protect the innocent, but these are real things that happen to me. I don't need to make this stuff up at this point, Brown Leader or Scruffy. I don't.
Make my ex-wife cry.
All right, so I'm going to bring up again, kind of the components of the game, right? So, how many players can play? This is what, 2 to 5 or 2 to 4?
We're hoping 2 to 5 if we get through this weekend's challenge. But like honestly, we will put a warning label on the 2-player game. Like the 3-player game was already like a knife fight in a phone booth, but the 2-player game is absolutely ruthless. Yeah, I don't know what I'm stabbing. Is that me? Is that you? Just keep stabbing.
The funniest thing about that statement is who amongst our viewers right now or listeners know what a phone booth is?
Probably not very many.
I will fit as many like Superman / Bill and Ted's references I can sneak into things.
It's almost like saying how many nerds can you fit into a Geo Metro. So
the answer is all of them. We did fit all of them at one time.
We did absolutely. All right. So what are some of the? So it's kind of go over. I've got on the screen. I've got kind of your components of your game. What are kind of go through that? What each or some of the pieces are.
This is not final. But this is like 80% final. We're going to do a lot and some upgrades and some other stuff. But Mark, would you like to take them through the bits?
Okay. So you can easily see the groups of meeples. We've got blue, gray, red, purple, green. So those are our families. And each of those families has a set of tokens next to them. And those tokens are how you secretly choose which line you're going to send your family member to. So
it's a simultaneous play game, and that's very important. It also makes it everything very, very quick.
That board in the back, you can see all the different. That's where that's our graveyard. So once your family members die, they go there, and we can see that they're all closed right now. The other little tokens that say food, water, ammo, and fuel go over the closed when those lines are open, and those are the places that you get to send your family members. So you basically pick a card, pick a family member, and choose a line. Everybody reveals their line token, and then you line up the cards in order around the table, starting with the mayor. You could see the mayor token on that as well. When a line fills up, it has a number of family members equal to the number of players. So if we're looking at this game, if there were 3 players and there's purple, blue, and gray in line, even though there's clearly more than 3 players playing, that line would be filled up, and we would flip the cards and see what happens. You always start with the green ones, moving from the back of the line, then the blue events, then the laws, which stick to a line and change the way it works. Nows, move your characters, and events are usually bad, but sometimes good. And yeah.
And you're trying to collect those little resource cubes. So it is the graveyard line board, the line markers, the line tokens, and cards. And it's $35, which is really cheap for how much gameplay is, and it's the exact same size box as our game processing. So so it's we what are we calling it? The Retro Apocalypse series?
The Retro Apocalypse series.
Retro Apocalypse series, because processing was about 50 styles aliens abducting people, and it's a cookbook to serve man. It's a cookbook. And so when I think we're zooming in potentially on the highway apocalypse for our 70s theme. This has come up a number of times. And, like Road Warrior and Death Race are both 70s. And the idea that cars are going to kill us, and we're all just going to be in this like desert wasteland with the last remaining cars, ended up being prophetic, but in a very different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny that you say Death Race because memes. I've just started recently seeing memes again, or memes about people wondering why I'm calculating points on how many points it would be to hit that person. And we used to do that all the time driving around.
We did. We did. That was a regular thing that we would do. The combinations. It was, Oh yeah. We weren't right.
No.
Like vehicular homicide being the standard practice. Right. There was one instance, Mark, I made Mark listen to Join in the Chant recently, Brown Leader from Knights Are Ebb.
Okay.
Were you in the car in that instance when we were going down the highway in Jay's car listening to that song and then the hood popped up?
Not just any road, but 696.
696, which is a cavern. Like it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
In the left lane,
That's
doing probably 75. And he had an AMC Eagle and the hood just went. And all four of us, we had all crashed at his place. He was driving us all home. And we were, all four. It was like a movie. We all screamed at the same time.
That is awesome.
And we were listening to Join in the Chant for that. So I also made Mark listen to Front 242's Manhunter today because it is the music video that if he was an industrial person, like he would have written this music video. So there's a lot of my need for industrial music was the addition to our group's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
We were all we were metalheads by nature, and then Seppy's like, you know what can be hard? Electronic can be hard. No, it can't. I'm like, let's listen to this shit. It helped that that the mind was a terrible thing to taste, and Ministry had crossed us over like there had been, or people would not have been on board with the level of madness that I was bringing. Our
musical swings were quite dramatic. We could.
Mark's like, what's that title of that album again? Cannibalism was funny, people. And of course, cannibalism is still funny in End of the Line. Like, how many Soylent Green references will I put in any one thing, Mark? Like,
many.
Reinventing a game. I was on a thing. I was on our board game live Wednesday live on TikTok yesterday, and our guest had decided that he was going to dress me down about what makes me good as a game designer or game publisher or game designer. And his number one quality was the inability to let things go. He's like, you made a game that took you 9 years. Yep. Your latest game is 15 years in the making, and you can feel it. Like, it's good. Like, it's like every error that I made in that first game, haunted me because my parents taught me that. So there you go for that. That's a thing. That's a thing. Never give up a regret. Never surrender to your self-confidence. Like my grandmother's hammer.
All right. So, is there any other highlights you'd like to touch on with End of the Line? And one of the things, because you guys have a Kickstarter going, right?
Yep,
We do.
And how many more days of that Kickstarter do you guys have?
It ends in a little over 7 days.
Yep.
Like 7 days and 12 hours. It's literally 7.5 days. Yeah.
You mentioned the weekend challenge a couple of times. You want to say what that exactly is?
Yeah, because we went to front 242. If we get a number of backers, and this audience will count towards that number, added to the crowd fund, we will unlock more game content. We will spend time adding the 2-player mode and enhancing the 3-player mode so that thruples don't break up.
How nice of you.
Well, those, couples, they are doomed. If they decide this, they've made the choice, and there'll be a warning levels. But thruples might have gone, I didn't realize this was going to be so mean to each other. Yeah, so we will install the autopilot if we get to 242 backers for the 3-player game, so they can.
And the deadline is Monday at midnight.
Monday at midnight. We started the long weekend. You guys are part of the long weekend for the final weekend challenge.
There we go.
The final weekend challenge was an awesome success for both Conquest Princess Fashion and Power and Conquest Princess Night of the Necropede. It's a fun way for us to get everybody excited about one last push for the game before the 48-hour, hey, by the way, this is your last chance to do this kind of thing. Yeah. And so it is, yeah. If you do not know, and you probably heard me say this before, Scruffy, God made Kickstarter to test the faithful. And I really want Shahalud to eat me somewhere mid every campaign. I'm why doesn't a giant worm just crash into us?
Where's the asteroid?
Yeah, seriously.
So what's the easiest way for people to find their way to the Kickstarter?
You can go Fight in a Box, and if you see what you got going up on right now, you can click on there, follow on Kickstarter, which is a great way to do it. If you already have the app, you can search for End of the Line 2nd edition. It's a little harder, or Fight in a Box on the Kickstarter app on your phone. But either way, this will take you to it. And like I said, we funded in 70 minutes. That's also a highlight. We're working on that 4th stretch goal right now, and we're working on the final weekend challenge. And yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. This game, if people don't know, and thank you again to have us on, Brown Leader. Kickstarter is particularly competitive at this current moment. Everybody is trying to make things happen before election ad spend crushes everything, right? And before everybody checks out of social media because they can't take it anymore. And so that is definitely the animal that everybody's we got to get this in. And so there's some huge crowd funds going on for us right now. And the only way that a little guy like us can be seen is by going to individual audiences like yours and saying, hey, do you want a game that makes cannibalism fun again?
Scruff, you want to hear the theme song?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Let's all get in a line. Let's all try not to die. At the end of the day, we'll see who can survive.
The world has ended and you need to gather the resources for survival. Stand in line and try to outlast your neighbors. Will you get what you need or what you deserve? End of the Line is filled with the best and worst the end times have to offer. Pick a card.
Pick a family member.
Pick a line. Fuel, ammo, food, or water. When life is up, see if you survive. What do you do when the world ends?
Get in line with everyone else.
Let's get ready to play. See which people will stay. At the end of the game, we'll see who goes away.
That is epic. That is epic.
That's very cool.
That is awesome.
Mark,
I get a copy of that for my car, for my thumb drive, so I can listen on the way to work.
There we go.
Absolutely. Mark really stepped up his game for this. Yeah. And
now, Mark, did you do the artwork for this? Or
Mhm. Yeah,
okay.
did the art, did the video. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Anything that you're looking at, I did.
Oh, very cool.
That is epically awesome. I love it.
So very cool. And then what's the expected timeline? Because I know, like you said before, you usually deliver early. But what's the expected timeline once the Kickstarter finishes?
Gen Con release for next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally we give ourselves a year after the funds drop. And so the Kickstarter will end in a week. And then Kickstarter figures itself out and usually takes about 3 weeks. And then so that puts us somewhere around Gen Con of next year is less than 12 months. And so that's what we're thinking. But typically we deliver early. And we hope to do that again. The gameplay is pretty solid. If folks want to check it out, they can come and join our Discord and come play with us. You two included. You should come and play the game. It's pretty funny. Even on TTS, it plays pretty quick.
Now, Gen Con is Indianapolis in August, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
2 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Busy month.
Yeah. So what's are you? I'm assuming you guys are going to hit Gen Con. What's your your upcoming con schedule that you guys have?
We just finished Origins, and then 4th of July is Convergence in Minneapolis. Like Brown Leader, if you were ever going to come for and you Scruffy join him for like a fun con weekend, Convergence in Minneapolis is a treat. They have a whole like nerd amphitheater. They have a nerd lounge, a nerd dance like thing, a board game area. Like it's crazy. Like Convergence is like Burning Man for cosplay geeks. It is crazy. This is weird giving culture for this convention. Everybody's giving stuff. Either like they feed you like substandard rations, like so if you're ever hungry, like passing out, it is very bohemian, and I would highly recommend it. So it's like a little under 4,000 people like living in this hotel doing like it's 5 stories of this hotel complex. It's crazy. And it is probably Minneapolis's biggest party con. It's their version of like a Dragon Con like experience. And so people have party rooms that are all themed, and food and drinks in those rooms are free. They just ask for like, hey, you had fun here, throw us whatever. That's good. Yeah, I would highly recommend this experience. It is sort of treat. And so we did that on 4th of July, but then because I'm insane, we did the crowdfund, and then we're gonna move right into late pledge, simultaneously doing pledge manager for Princess and Gen Con all on top of each other because Mark likes pain.
Yeah.
There is we've got some friends up in Duluth. We're gonna have to make a Minnesota trip at some point. And
yes,
he's is it his first year of his con that he's doing this year?
Second, I believe.
Second year. So it started as kind of it's part of the Minnesota Star Wars Collectors Association Alliance, but he's got a gaming component that he's building. Like they're actually going to have like Magic tournaments there and some other things. So he's growing. He's trying to grow it. He's trying to give somebody something, because as far up as Duluth is, he's trying to give some nerd representation up there and give something back to the community. And he's a pretty cool guy, and he's invited us out as well. And yeah, I think we're gonna have to make a Minnesota trip at some point. I think
That'd be amazing. Now,
next year, I'd love to.
Like, conventions are weird because they're not only about the place they are, but like how easy it is and how much it pulls in, right? And that's why we saw Gamma moved to Louisville this year from Reno, and then Gen Con basically made it down Lake Michigan further and further, and finally ended up in Indianapolis, just because a convention is how many things that it can pull in, like Brown Leader just got sucked into a black hole, and it's the idea of that same thing. Does he do this a lot, Scruffy? Should we be worried?
He's just gone. I don't know if we'll ever see him again.
No, I can hear you. I was just.
Oh wow! And as you talk, your little logo lights up.
Exactly. That's
awesome.
a StreamYard thing. No, I was looking for a particular book because speaking about Dragon Con and parties and stuff, we have another friend of the show, Brian Young. He's an author, and he wrote his very first book is called Lost at the Con, and hilarious book. I laughed so hard. And he modeled it. It's about a Gonzo style journalist that goes who's normally writes political but has a drinking problem, so he's now writing for like a online trashy tabloid Gonzo journalism type source, and he gets sent to the fictional equivalent of Dragon Con, and he's drinking, doing quaaludes and other things during it.
He's doing fear and fear and loathing at like Dragon Con. Fear and loathing at Dragon Con. Oh my gosh!
And the
steampunk.
His arch enemy at the Dragon Con becomes a steampunk
Abraham Lincoln. Yes,
and it is I can't recommend the book enough. It is a hilarious book.
Steampunk Abraham Lincoln,
right?
Absolutely.
And I enjoyed that book so much. I laughed so much when I had to read it before we had him on the show, and it was definitely had. It was anybody that goes to cons, it's a fun read. The conversation with the 501st equating the stormtroopers to brown coats and just other. I mean, it's just he goes way off, and it's hilarious, just absolutely a hilarious book.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Brian Young, Lost at the Con.
Yeah,
it is an awesome read.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun read. But yeah, any other cons you guys got coming up or anything, or is that or are you kind of past most of your con season at this point?
No. Mark gets a free pass because is it your anniversary every year around Gamehole Con? Like Mark has a hard and I love Mark's wife, but they're like, no, we cannot do Gamehole Con. So Gamehole Con is in and around Halloween weekend in Madison. It is also a great convention. I would recommend that. It's about 7,000 people. It is probably the second most prominent role-playing centered convention. Metatopia being in New England being the foremost. Obviously Gary Con is also sort of in that area, but it has capped its size. Like we don't want to be any bigger than this. Where Gamehole's like, hey, we're going to continue to grow, and Gamehole is great. So we're going to go to Madison for that. Warfare Weekend in St. Louis may or may not happen depending on stuff. We usually try to go down there as our St. Louis Con. And then depending on where Princess is, we'll either have a booth or we might not for PAX Unplugged. PAX Unplugged is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been to that one, that is probably my favorite big gaming convention. I feel like Origins is big-ish, but this year it had a really good showing. I guess they got up to 17,000 people, so I guess it's big. I really like Origins, but PAX Unplugged is the world's largest Relaxicon.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Very cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, and Scruff, I have Mark's been generous enough. He's sending us a reviewing copy, so we'll be able to
awesome.
we'll be able to take it down with us when we go to ICCC in October. So, and yeah,
awesome.
So that'll be a lot of fun. So thank you, sir, on that.
Yeah, make sure when you get it. Make sure when you get it that we send you the updated version of the rules and everything else. Sometimes things fall through the cracks and I lose my mind.
Lose or loss?
It's
little people, Scruffy, hitting each other.
It's always in a state of flux. So
I get that.
Yeah. So transitioning over to let's talk about Coruscant Nights real quick a little bit, and how's everything going on? How's everything going on with the current season of Coruscant Nights?
Great. First, you're the first to hear it, but the final episode in the John Shondongus and Knocknalil arc will not be coming out tomorrow, but will be coming out on Saturday.
Okay,
it's very exciting. Just a lot of fun. But yeah, there are two more arcs towards the end of the season.
I just listened to the John Shondongus Life Day episode a couple days back, and I'm just now getting I'm a few arcs into season 2.
Jungle all the way.
Yeah. So Jungle all the way up. Yeah. And I was just telling Scruffy about the Lothcat one. That I'm just past that one. So I think
we played Magical Kitties Save the Day, except instead of magic, they have the Force.
Right. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So
I need to look into that one.
Yeah. No, it's I've been enjoying it. So you've been in my ears a lot.
Nice.
I just when I'm not catching up on other things, it's set to Coruscant Nights. So I'm trying to speed my way through as fast as I can to so hopefully I can catch any little references when we have our adventure.
They're all over the place. Oh yeah. I've been reading and or listening to a lot of Star Wars books lately and getting lots of ideas for season 3.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I read Rise of the Red Blade. If you've read that one, about an Inquisitor, which may play a big part in the 3rd season. Shadows of the Sith. I've just been reading all the dark side heavy, the magic heavy books.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
really,
awesome.
Like a lot of the newer stuff is leaning very heavily into fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
As I do.
As you do.
As we do. You have been unapologetically pro space wizard.
Yeah.
The entire time. And so much so that I love me some hard science.
You want to know how
fiction.
much the coaxium costs? Yeah.
We know. I need that. And so you thought originally, you're like, there's no way that Seppy is gonna like Rebels. There's
very magical. Yeah.
It's very magical. And I like a space wizard. It is fine. I just don't like it when your continuity of your universe breaks down. That has never been my problem with space wizards doing space wizard stuff. Fine. You want to have new expressions of space wizardry? Let's go do that. That's great. But I love the nexus of time space and
between worlds.
Yeah, and I want and we see this more and more often as the universe gets bigger. You have hyperspace corridors that you have to create points of interest. And this is where Star Wars and what I do overlap. You have to create points of conflict. Like, why does this area of nothingness matter more than other areas? Oh no, am I gonna hate it? Am I gonna hate this? This is one of those things.
I think for Acolyte, there are certain things that people, now that it is out, going into it, should know before going into it.
Okay. I love Trinity I love Lady Space Wizards. I love it being edgy and like all that kind of stuff had been very good. But like, what do I need to be braced for impact? Are they going to use a hyperspace drive, weaponize a hyperspace drive? Like, that's my first question. That if you do that, you can't do that. Like, your universe breaks down completely.
No, but there is a reference to one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, anybody can steal an X-Wing, which means anybody can destroy a planet. Like,
well, you know that's how the very first High Republic book starts, right?
Yeah.
They use an X-Wing to destroy a planet because of hyperspace.
It's called the Great It becomes the Great Hyperspace Disaster, and a ship is broken up in like a passenger cruise line type ship is broken up in hyperspace,
and chunks just go raining down on one planet, but also coming out here and there, and you
coming out of hyperspace. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just destroys. Like, you can't have a universe where that is like. You cannot do that. You cannot replicate that disaster as a normal thing. Like, as soon as somebody knows that can happen, human ingenuity is such that, or even alien, like anything people like related, as soon as somebody knows something is possible, we figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there is no cosmology of Star Wars-ness if people can so easily rain global destruction. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It stops working. It stops working. It stops working. And so, what is the warning that I need, Mark, for Acolyte? I was actually getting excited about it, but now I'm not allowed to watch it. Is it now it will drive Seppy crazy?
I think you would like it, actually. I think
really
maybe,
don't do it.
Maybe we'll start it at Gen Con.
Oh, okay.
In the evenings, and we'll see if you can get through a couple episodes. Okay. We have to finish Bad Batch season 3, though.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word! You haven't finished Bad Batch season 3 yet?
Well, I'm very, very, very poor. We make games for a living.
All right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, very, very, very poor, and so I only get to have Crunchyroll because I'm anime addicted, and then I rotate out and binge various things, and so previous.
So Seppy and I started Bad Batch season 3, got halfway through when he was here for Origins.
And so now I have something to look forward to. Yeah.
So we'll finish the second half.
And we'll finish the second half. It was good. It was good. I was very excited about it. Is that the last season we're watching?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Good on them for ending strong.
Yeah.
Like, don't ride something until everybody hates it.
No, I think they ended on a good note. I think it was good. They wrapped things up and
kind of like Motley Crue.
Yeah, kind of like Motley Crue.
All right.
And after you've seen it, I can play the in memoriam for you. So
okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that is cool. That new season is really good. Occasionally, people surprise you. For example, Blondie's 11th album is actually really good. Pollinator. Like, if you are a fan of like classic Blondie, like Pollinator is a return. It's like the album you wanted to be their 4th album, right? Pollinator is a fantastic album.
Yep, 90 Degrees. Yes, exactly.
He mentioned Motley Crue, and people you were like, why are you still making albums? The 11th album for Blondie is like somebody just checked back in. They're like, suddenly 30 years later, you created the sound that you wanted. And how this all ties back to End of the Line was 15 years later, suddenly I checked back in and I understood what I needed to do. I visited the time-space nexus that we are fighting over.
Right.
And yes. Like,
cool.
I still haven't seen Ahsoka either, but I've done the homework. So Ahsoka is for me. That is what I've been told. Are you guys, after Acolyte, do you feel like I should abandon all like live Star Wars? Like,
No, absolutely no.
Okay.
No, you might like Acolyte. It's different. Don't listen to any of the pros or cons online.
Yeah.
There's lots of hate on it. Don't listen to it. I think
Like,
it's,
people can I enjoy the things that they're going to enjoy. Like, I never thought the universe would catch up to One Piece, for God's sake. Like, I started that 25 years ago, or now 26 years ago, and I'm like, no one's ever going to love this show. I'm just going to love the crap out of it. And then suddenly, what? Everybody's king of the pirates. Like, I could not even believe. So in there's Star Wars that like Mark and I are like weirdly fans of the Battle for Endor and Ewok fantasy, like just flat out, like unapologetically, like, and I understand that is entirely a nostalgia moment for us. But in the lore of Star Wars, what is some storyline that you would like to see like evolve, like One Piece has evolved, or some of these other things? Like, I wish they would do this weirdness. This is the weirdness I would want them to go further with.
Probably. Well, the easy answer would be Old Republic, just because you've got, there's so much you can do. There is a.
All right.
Actually,
I had Mark talk to me about this before. What is the feature of the Old Republic? What are the, like, we talk about that as a time era, but what are those stories about?
So the ancient Mandalorian Wars, the kind of the early millennia of the Jedi, and maybe what became for it. And before you cut in there, I was going to say there was a Coruscant Night I listened to that Mark had a guest on, and they run a RPG pod that takes place that it takes place like even before Old Republic, like before lightsabers existed and before blasters existed, when the primary weapon was still slug throwers. And that would probably be the answer to your question, Seppy, because I thought that was a cool concept for the Star Wars universe. And it would be kind of fun to see something in that timeline.
In the Old Republic, is the Jedi Order still like so anti dark force users? Have they not polarized to like their codified things that end up making Anakin insane? Like, where is, or have they already had their strict doctrine? And
they've already got their strict doctrine. And the cool thing about the Old Republic is that it's pre the rule of two. So you could have armies of Sith, you could have, groups of Sith, and it's not just not the rule of two and then the spin-off Inquisitors and stuff like that. You can have full Sith academies, you can have whatever.
And were those on planets inside the Republic, or in and they're like, hey, we are, you can be a Jedi Order planet or Sith, but they both are in the Republic and they both have the same political autonomy.
Yeah.
Or was one looked at as fundamentally?
It depends on which part of the Old Republic you go to. So there's there's some great battles, which then starts the downward arc of the Sith and losing their power. But at one point, they had whole planets and fielded armies and all sorts of things like that. And it was a competition to see who would win. Yeah, between the dark and the light.
Do the Sith eventually have their Highlander moment? And they're like, that time space nexus is delicious, but only one dark Sith can really control it.
There could be only two.
Yeah, there can only be two, with the idea that second one's just going to feed the first one.
Yeah, they're really constantly breaking the rules, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess the bad guys would be the ones to break the rules, right? So.
No, good guys break the rules all the time. What are you talking about? Like, Obi-Wan did not know a rule that Obi-Wan did not want to break.
They bend the rules.
What?
Bend the rules and break the rules are two different things.
What? I'm going to do this thing, and F all y'all. Like, Obi-Wan is in that, obviously Anakin, all y'all, even Qui-Gon. They're like, I'm going to do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see like, is Yoda canonically alive during the Old Republic period, and where is his position in the Old Republic?
No, I
He
think
he
Old
dies at like
Republic is
900, right?
Yeah, he was 900 years old when he died ish.
So we've got
Knights of the Old Republic is around like 4,000 BBY ish, between 4 and 3,500 BBY ish.
So way before any of the movies.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
He is alive during the High Republic, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is a problem. Okay, just think about how much technology has changed in our lifetime.
I knew you would have this problem. Yeah.
Right?
Hence the reason for the slug throwers, and
Like, that's enormous amount of time for the human animal to exist and not innovate. Like, that's too much time, right? Like, in the Lord of the Rings universe, people are just not interested, and in the Dune universe, people aren't allowed. Right? And this is how they get these long stretches of time. Like, Star Wars does not have like and we especially seen that in the more recent ones where, hey, whatever, I'm making this technology, I'm cloning the shit out of this MCOUT. Like, right? Like, in a universe where that exists, like, how do you have a 4,000 year period where, like, no, we're gonna use this same level of stuff?
I think it's I think it's a matter of scale. It's the universe is so vast. How do you can have pockets of advancement, but how do you produce it on a mass scale to replenish everything? Then there's the economics of it on a universe scale.
One of the things I love about
technology,
and what I love about Stargate is Stargate massively addresses this issue. It is very concerned with this issue. The Goa'uld literally like, no. And the other races that are like this kind of stuff, they're like, no, we're past it. And we understand arming you crazy people is just a flavor for disaster. And so they are actively putting the kibots on like spreading technology, because they understand, John, that's cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas.
You can't, like, it's cuckoo bananas to give humans hyperspace or interstellar travel, because it's a lot easier to destroy a planet than to travel between galaxies. Just the amount of energy that is required and technology is required, right? Cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas.
It's cuckoo bananas.
Another thing about Star Wars is that obsolescence doesn't really happen. People use, like, ships are a generational commodity. Like, a family will own a ship for generations and continue to repair it and still be able to find the parts to repair it, even if they have to go to a junk dealer on Tatooine who doesn't take Republic credits.
The 40K universe goes, sorry, we have now doctrinated ourselves out of innovation. Right? And they're like, hey, everything, our highest period of technology is past us. And that's how they get away with that. They're like, oh, we could find old technologies, and they're really just dedicated to war. And so that is how that universe deals with it. There are a lot of brilliant and amazing Star Wars fans. So I want somebody to come up with an answer that fits it, right? Like, it could have been like the Jedi Order is squashing innovation, literally. Like,
there's that possibility, and the acceptance of people of any new technology or anything different out of the ordinary.
The banned technology list that to be a member of the Old or the High Republic says you will not do this thing, right? I want to see, for me, in Star Wars weirdness, I want to see the inevitable machine revolt. I want to see where it happened in the timeline or when it's going to happen. Because obviously, they're slaves who are sentient and aware and have feelings.
They don't have network systems, though, so that might be kind of hard.
See, That's awesome. See, I like
So Seppy
now
wants
you're
to-
talking like
Seppy wants to know
networking.
wants the story of why the galaxy has decided that network systems are not
Right.
a thing.
Mhm.
Yes, and Dune decided IMR is the reason. Right? The Inevitable Machine Revolt, by the way, Scruffy, if you didn't understand that. Which, by the way, is the name of the expansion for End of the Line when we do it. It's called the Inevitable Machine Revolt. IMR, like the Inevitable Machine Revolt is a great reason, because we're coming up on the singularity already, like sci-fiing or space wizarding yourself out. And I know if this is annoying for Star Wars fans, I feel like I am a Star Wars fan. I put my time in, but I love this kind of stuff. I want the universe. I want to know how many units of hyperspace fuel that blaster costs. I want to know.
Anyway, so unboxing the
We'll work on
boxes. Thanks for checking in with us tonight. Good to see you. Another, I believe he is in Minnesota as well. So welcome to the show. And enjoyed your episode a month or two back about all of the Funko Pops for for Jabba's skiff. Did watch that one. So and the Hyperspace Heroes, which we had the name first, by the way. He did a recent one on all the Funko Pop Hyperspace Heroes. Unboxed all of those as well.
We're still waiting for our royalty check.
Right, exactly. And but all right. You guys want to move into collection corner? I know I got a couple.
Ooh, yeah.
All right,
Show me
let's
the
do it.
nerdy.
Scruff. Yesterday was comic day, right?
Yesterday was comic book day. So yeah, we picked up a couple of the issues of Ahsoka, the two one variant cover and the original. High Republic Adventures, Quart Zint, and Alex on Allies. I don't know what that's about yet, but we're gonna check that out. Issue number 48 of the Star Wars Baseline comic, and I had to pick up two. Well, they only had two. This is the Legends Forever Crimson, and I picked up two because of this Jackson Rabbit. So DB got the other copy because he is a huge Jackson fan. I still don't know why. This came in Dr. Chris Kempshell's new book.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So
we're gonna have him on.
Cool. I'm gonna start reading that here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This showed up on my desk. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, sir.
Nice.
With the thermos. Yes. So I'm gonna go upstairs, wash it, and start packing my lunch, taking my lunch to work every day on that.
There you go.
And buried
You
inside.
got Mark's attention. Can you see him salivating on that thing?
I did notice
that.
So we had a local swap meet that I spun over to last weekend.
week.
Yep, Geek Trader Market. They're trying to build themselves. It's a local swap meet. They're building themselves up, so we're there quarterly now. And I think at the next one, we're going to try to see if we can't do a live stream to help them out a little bit. And we had them on the show a couple weeks back, about a month ago, to promote the summer event. And then I did some social. I went over there and found those gems for the guys. And
we're gonna have a table at the next one, and I'm gonna sell some stuff because this behind me is complete. Oh yes, Jackson, my favorite Star Wars Green Rabbit, the only Star Wars Green Rabbit.
So yeah, Mark, if you want to sprinkle Leppy into the adventure, I'm sure Scruffy would just enjoy.
Just haven't gotten there.
No. And then while we were waiting for the music store next door to close, I went over to a thrift store next door, and for $1.99, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the that micro series, the diecast micro series.
Nice,
cool,
like that. So yes, had to have it. I don't know why. I don't need it, but I bought it anyway.
Well, you said you're going to have a table, right? There's a lot of things that you can do it. If you're interested in participating in the trade commodity, and like also stuff, for the kids, Scruffy.
For the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids. For the
or
kids.
or you were feeling cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas.
I was mostly cuckoo bananas, yes, and I'm going to probably put them somewhere. But yes, this is the ultimate find of the week, though. Yes.
Yeah.
Epicness. I had one in school. I still have it, but it does not have the thermos anymore. Now I've got a thermos.
Yeah, and that wasn't bad for the price. It was
that was really good for the price.
Yeah.
It was $15.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have paid $15 for the thermos itself. But epic. And that's my haul for the week. Oh, and this awesome t-shirt.
Nice.
I love this t-shirt. I've basically been living in this t-shirt.
That's from a friend of ours. That's from a friend of ours, My 2D Heroes. And I just, you know what? I got the magnets from him and I didn't bring them down here. So if you find R5s popping up in your offices all of a sudden,
yes.
He had a bunch of extra ones. So here we go. Here's a question. What is your number one item you bought that you really don't need for your collection?
Ooh.
Pretty much everything. I need to hold on.
I think let's re-ask that question in the which item is this? Why do I have this item? Like the one that makes you ask this question the most. Why do I have this item?
Right.
That right there. I don't know why I had to have it. It was very nostalgic to me. It's the 7-Eleven Slurpee Cup Return of the Jedi. That's the original hanger from inside a 7-Eleven store. I don't know why I had to have it. It's absolutely stupid. And there is just a plethora of stuff behind me, behind the wall behind me, that I don't know why I had to have it, but I had to have it. I have boxes of candy bar wrappers because it said Star Wars on them.
That's hoarding.
No, that is not hoarding because someday it's going to be worth half of what I paid for it.
But will you sell them?
And that was the logic my wife used on me. Well, that implies you're going to sell it someday. Okay.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I had nothing witty for that.
I just made a purchase that could probably fall under that criteria because I don't have Scruffy already knows about this and I can actually bring it up on the screen. So I'm not as big a comic collector as he is, but I did pre-purchase. So it's a Big Time Comics Collectibles. I'm sorry, is doing their own special cover series for the Ahsoka comics.
Ooh.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
They are.
Yeah, and so
I'm still tempted to get that. That artwork is epic.
Yeah, and so I prepaid for that whole run once it comes out. So that
cool.
would kind of it's I don't need it, but it was kind of
there you go, the comic books. What the hell happened there? I
won't open them. I won't read them. They're just
that's probably better for their value if you're interested in their value.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's I have oh wait, where are they? Here they are. I keep a set of the white cotton gloves so that I can open some of these up without getting fingerprints and leaving the oil from your fingers on the pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've gone that far down the rabbit hole.
And you buy the special cardboard backers, right?
Yes, the acid-free cardboard backer with the paper that you slide in there to kind of retain the coloring of the printed paper itself. Yeah, it's out of control. And
No, that's awesome. That's premium collector. I care stuff. I love that so much, Scruffy. You don't have to apologize for that.
But
I don't know why I
didn't
have
need it.
why do I have it is different than I didn't need it. Like the Slurpee sign is in the.
That's true. That's true. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
My ultimate why do I have this is why did I 3D print this?
Yes.
I have
because
nowhere
you
to
can.
put it. I
What
will
is it?
never paint it, but I have this Rancor.
Oh, that is awesome.
It just moves from one inconvenient place to another inconvenient place.
Oh, that is epic.
It is. It's cool. I can't get rid of it.
No.
I would like to paint it. I don't have time. It's just how it goes.
Oh, that is epically cool. No, I can get behind that one.
Yeah.
An item I have that I actually didn't buy. It was a gift, and as anyone watching can see, I've got a collection of Funkos. That is my primary thing. But something that I didn't know I needed until somebody gave it to me as a gift is it's not a Funko, but it is a bobblehead, and it's a Japanese import edition. So
yes, it is.
Everything is in Japanese.
You needed that. You needed that.
I did need it. I didn't know I needed
That's a
it.
different question.
It is.
This thing that I have that I didn't know I needed is a very different in question than this thing I have, and I don't know why I need it. Like
the gentleman that asked the question, I know he unboxes a lot of stuff, and I thought he would appreciate that. But and then Mandalorian figure, yeah, I could see myself doing that as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Got that too.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
And here's the other piece that
I
don't know why I have it. I don't know why I had to have it. It has the original shipper box with it.
Oh.
And I don't even really know what it is. I mean, I do kind of, but I don't know. I was told that it is a newsreel or a news piece,
a wax seal,
promo news type piece.
Don't break the seal.
Oh, it's already been opened.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I did not know until I started going to cons with Scruffy the value of the original shipping boxes.
Oh,
and I did not know there was a market for that, and it was.
Yes.
Is that a press kit then, Scruffy?
That's what I was told it was. It was a press kit, but I don't think it is. And inside is.
Oh, nice.
Huh.
Is a couple of original Ralph McQuarrie concept art pieces.
That is cool.
Now, I don't know if that's all there was. I don't know if there was more, and this is all that's left from this.
Is that the producer's original like get funding, send people kit?
I don't think so, because the date on the shipper box itself, because that is clearly Empire Strikes Back, and the date on the box is October 5th, 1983. So a press kit doesn't make sense, obviously, because
that's a couple years after the film came out.
Yes, this 3 years. It's over 3 years after the film came out, and this obviously is Empire Strikes Back. So it's an enigma that I don't know, and it's just one of those pieces I have I just don't know why.
That looks like some producers. I'm sending this to you to get money out of you, kit.
And that's what it was. It was sold to me that's what it was. And even the copyright on the front of this piece right here says it's 1979. But this box it was shipped in, and that box it's very designed for this piece, so it's not just some random box somebody stuffed it in.
It might have been a leftover during the original, and then somebody did send it.
It could be.
Have you ever seen Jodorowsky's Dune?
Yes.
like that book obviously had an effect on the original Star Wars movie. And that, like, there's only 7 copies of that book that made it around and affected so many films. Like this thing's like, was it like 1,200 pages or 1,400 pages? It's crazy.
It was, yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. What did you find it, Mark?
I did.
What is it?
It is described as a rare original promotional box with 2 portfolios featuring 2 plates by Ralph McQuarrie for Star Wars' second movie.
Who was it for and who made it?
Calls a portfolio.
Press portfolio. Where did you find that at?
I just searched things until it came up.
Because I've done that once before for about 4.5 hours, and I finally gave up. Because I'm like, I was like, ultimately, it was like, do I really care that much? No, I'm hungry. I'm going to go upstairs and get some dino nuggets and some mashed potatoes and call it a day. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So that is the 2 that are in there. Oh, my word.
Yeah. Better put those white gloves back on.
Yep. Take care of that thing.
Yeah, you should take care of that thing.
500. Well, of course, that's what they're asking for. I can ask $1 million for it. It doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Too.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, this thing that they're showing is not in great condition. So
yours seemed like it was in good condition until you just took it out. So
yeah, mine. It is in pretty good condition.
And it has the shipping box, which is very important. I learned that recently.
There's a few creases in it, like right here, like right there. You can kind of see it.
That's true.
There's just a few of them on there, but it's not so terrible that.
Ooh, his has a tear in it.
His has a tear in it.
Oh, wow. 5.
Yep.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, that thing is neat. That thing is neat. Wow. Thank you for sharing, Scruffy.
That may be going to ICCC.
Yeah, there you go. That might just pay for the hotel room or a portion of it.
Yeah, that thing's neat. You should definitely keep track of that stuff. Look at Mark.
Thank you, Mark, for finding that.
We're giving back to the community that's helping us.
Right on.
You know what you can do with those extra dollars, Scruffy?
oh yeah, that thing is epic. I gotta have one of those for sure.
I'm just saying, we could use your help for the final challenge week.
There you go.
Yeah,
I chipped in. I'm a backer.
You are. Thank you so much for being a supporter of our
Oh yeah, it's got to be done. That game that's just epically awesome.
It'll be fun.
Did you get to play the original Brown Leader? Okay.
I found the original on eBay.
Yeah, probably like $40, $80. I don't know, somewhere between there.
$40, yeah.
Yeah, it fluctuates. You are going to have like high school PTSD flashbacks, Brown Leader. This is going to be like, this is the most Seppy bullshit I have ever been put through.
Probably.
You were like, this smacks of his irreverent and terrible sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
This is gonna be a thing.
Without a doubt. Go ahead.
Oh, as we like to say at Fight in a Box, Mark. We put it on.
I like to say a lot of things at Fight in a Box.
I know. But the slogan that you're putting on all our boxes now.
Oh, enjoy the punishment.
Enjoy the punishment. Love that.
Enjoy the punishment.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Right on. All right. To wrap up Collection Corner, did you guys have anything that you wanted to? Okay, yeah, go for it.
Because we're talking about our games tonight.
Yeah.
We briefly talked about Conquest Princess, which is our last game, about space agents and space fashion. Back when I was doing the art for that, this isn't a recent acquisition, but a couple months, 6 months or so, I found this book because, as you can see, as I'm backwards, my collection consists mostly of books. Star Wars costumes, original trilogy. So it's got all of like the original props and costumes, and
that's awesome.
Tons of concept art that I've never seen before. But yeah, very cool book of costuming, and and stuff.
That's very cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
I love it.
Fashion is power.
Fashion is power.
Fashion is
power. You know, Scruff, I still haven't opened this. It's still sealed.
I haven't opened mine either.
This is a brand new book, Visual Archive to Return of the Jedi. We had one of the contributing authors on the show,
Kelly Knox.
Kelly Knox. And it's it's a really good archive. I mean, she sent us the press kit, so I was able to kind of go through, but the same kind of stuff is like has costumes, it has behind the scenes stuff. And in a zombie attack, it's heavy enough you could bash a couple brains with it. So
absolutely, it's got some move to it.
For my portion of Collection Corner, I picked up the stuff for Scruffy, picked up a couple items for DB, who I forgot to say was because we took a 90-degree turn as soon as we opened the show, which was he is on assignment. I did do the 2468 Who Do We Appreciate as the cold open. So
and then the that's all right, that's okay. You're gonna pop our coaxium someday.
Yes, there you go. But yeah, he's on special assignment. We hope he has a cheerful time.
Terrific time.
Jazz hands.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers.
And he is going to be so irritated with us.
And I gotta say, man, DB, what you did to Grimace, not right. That's all I'm saying,
bro. That's just wrong.
We're just gonna leave it at that. So, for Collection Corner, I don't really collect at the same swap meet that I found the stuff for those guys. Always buy things we don't need. That's very true. And case in point. So I don't really collect a lot of action figures, but the one Black Series I was looking for was the Mudhorn Mando.
Yes.
Just because I think that in the whole series of Mando, that is probably the most, to me, that's the most pivotal scene of the whole series. I think that scene right there is what really made the show for me. And
does that have the egg in it too?
It does.
Yes.
Yes. Cool. And I got a really good deal on it from a friend of ours who we're actually they're associated with Virtual Cantina on YouTube, and they also run the Star Wars Facebook group for Celebration. And we're going to be doing a joint episode with them coming up. But he gave me a really nice, sweet deal on that. I've been looking for that one for a little while. And then our buddy Chris, who runs Geek Trader Market, he's really wanting us, Scruffy, to come down on Friday nights, which is a hard night for us. But they are doing this is the new card game, so he gave me a starter pack for us, and which was really super nice of him, Chris. Thank you. And he really wants us to come down on a Friday night to join the league play that they have going on. And learn to play.
I may have to schedule a Friday night off.
Yeah, but again,
I hope nobody from work is listening right now.
Right, exactly. Speaking of which, Maya, if you're watching, thank you. He almost jumped in the chat last week with us when we were talking about a few certain things. Almost gave away the secrets of what goes on at work. Might have to rethink thanking you, Maya.
You have to rethink that one.
That's
almost a violation of the bro code there.
It almost is, right? Yeah. So no, we always make the joke that we started this podcast because we were in each other's offices too much talking Star Wars, and so
it's not much of a lie there.
It's actually not much of a lie. Wink, wink. But yeah, Maya was going to call us out on that, so I'll do it for you. But yeah, that's but Chris, thank you for this. But again, I've been hanging out with Scruffy and DB so much I don't want to open it. Take the pieces out.
It's a curse.
It is. Damn you.
One of us.
Yeah,
one of you.
Mm-hmm.
One of us.
Mm-hmm. And I did get in the mail all 10 R5 magnets, and I think he had 4 or 6 Razor Crest. So 2 went on the water heater where the wife won't see them usually, and the rest are going to start randomly popping up in places. So
excellent.
Yes. So very cool. Well, cool. Guys, anything else before we sign off?
I don't think so. I'm beginning to question whether or not I want to sell that now because that those two McQuarrie art pieces are just awesome.
Yeah, that is.
I think I want to frame those.
Yeah,
I've not. I did not think about the realization that Star Wars collectible is so deep that you have to pick a niche or you will drown in your stuff. But now I realize that
case in point.
Yeah, that like all three of you have realized that there's only one thing I can dedicate myself to.
I'm drowning right now.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna call you out, Scruffy. Mike,
I'll call it out. What you see behind this wall behind me is 4 totes deep and runs all the way down to somewhere right around here. That is the collection that can't be put on display because I just don't have room for it.
But like
all the way to the ceiling too.
And that was after building a house so that he could put stuff on display. So.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, with you guys going to places that sell, you realize the exchanging of these objects is part of the love. So letting something be in somebody else's collection or letting that exchange between the two of you allows you to collect more is so.
We're supposed to pick a niche.
We're supposed to pick one, right?
No, bro. No, don't bother. Just buy a bigger house, man. How's my favorite song go? I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Credit card debt.
So in true. So the original, as true bros will do, for Christmas, I always look for something of a new niche for Scruffy, and get that for him. And so
and I both love you and hate you for it at the same time.
That's what we do. Yeah. All right. All right.
And to your point, Seppy, that's kind of one of the things that reminds me of, well, maybe I should sell it. This thing has been sitting in a box in a corner for literally 20 years now.
You guys are good at this and getting people excited, giving a chance for don't think about it as giving stuff up, but repatriating your love for this thing to somebody else who can discover it. Because you are now sitting on like decades of like love and awesome and little things and you rediscovering it before you let somebody else have it will also reinvigorate you, Scruffy. I think that's great. But I'm all about the positivity of your nerddom. That's sort of my broken point at this point.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, like share the love. Like other people will love you for having it, and they will, and so forth and whatnot. Yeah, it's great, and this is also why this podcast exists.
Right, exactly. All right. So speaking of sharing the love, where can our viewers and our listeners find anything and everything? Fight in the Box, End of the Line, Kickstarter, all of that.
Mark, you want to take it?
Yeah. So fightinthebox.com has info on all of our games. We are revamping each game's page one at a time, and you can find everything about End of the Line there. You can follow the Kickstarter and support a small indie game company on Kickstarter.com. Just search for End of the Line, Post-Apocalyptic Family Survival. Nice long title for you. If space fashion is more your jam, you can find Conquest Princess on GameFound. We are currently in late backing, which is going to close very, 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 very soon, as those games will be shipping to us soon. You can find us on social media at Fight in a Box on pretty much every platform that you can think of. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff.
If having it brings you joy, that is amazing. And if letting people know what you have brings you joy, everybody gets to experience their nerddom in the way that they love. But you should not be afraid of expressing your nerd love in a new way that brings you closer to a community that also wants to share it with you. And that's one of the things, the participating in the swap meets, the selling, the trading, all of that gives you that opportunity. And that's what I'm advocating, which is connecting with others who will appreciate your appreciation.
Right.
And I will say it was fun sitting in the room. We have room sales at ICC where people would come to your room and look at, what you have to sell, and people coming in and out of the room and and just that networking and the connection with those people that were coming in and going out.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
Right on. And Maya, thank you for that comment. You're right on. So, all right, let's switch over into the last segment really quick. Scruff, if you're ready.
I am ready.
All right. So, Dad joke of the week. Time to annoy Scruffy and DB. Dad joke of the week. All right, so this is courtesy of Kelly Knox's Star Wars dad jokes. So last week it was deemed a cringe for sure with our guest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
when you have to explain the dad joke, it kind of loses.
Yeah. That's one of the cringeworthy moments.
Yeah. So, all right. So, dad joke of the week. What's the most important part of making the jump to hyperspace? You have to plan it.
That was dad joke of the week. Now don't you feel absolutely complete?
I love that so much. And our earlier topic of why space matters. Yeah, oh my God.
Right
I do feel more complete. Thank you for that, Brown Leader.
You are very welcome.
I do. I feel more complete. Like I have a reason to continue.
All right. Yes. Thank you for feeding his ego.
Yeah.
That is the best use of him driving in a car in God knows. I know he recorded that in his car. Like,
he did. Absolutely.
Yeah, like that's the best use of car.
Well, I didn't record it in the car, but I did some audio files while I drove. Yes, but then I recorded it as soon as I got home.
Yeah.
So, and then I want to bring this back full circle before we sign off and back to something a comment Mark had made when we talked about a Star Wars character that. Based on your question, Seppy, at the very beginning, and it's in regards to Lobot and something that we discovered. We did a whole episode on the 1980 Flash Gordon movie, and they used an amazing amount of secondary and background actors from Empire Strikes Back in that production, and it was just crazy. And speaking of Lobot, and Mr. John Hollis himself was in Flash Gordon as the guy that would as instead of the ears, it was the eyes in Flash Gordon. He was like the equivalent of the radar operator in Flash Gordon. But wanted to bring that in as a full circle moment, and we were quite surprised to find that out.
Why does intelligent technology move forward in the Flash universe? Because Ming the Merciless is literally crushing innovation.
There you go.
I'm just saying, please, Star Wars, next Star Wars genius, your next Timothy Zahn, like, please give me this reason to, and somebody can figure it out. Like, give me this reason why technology stops moving forward. And then at the critical movie points that we are, it's suddenly like without the Republic, like innovation has started again and everything has gone off the rails, right?
Right.
Like, I want that argument to be codified for me, for my space.
I guess we're gonna have to start reading some Knights of the Old Republic comics. More specifically, I think.
Well, and we'll see Zahn at ICCC, so maybe we'll have to ask him that.
I want the Jedi to be crushing innovation. I want like, this technology is not safe, and once you do it, and there's a real argument, us experiencing the internet, why you shouldn't have networked computers.
Yes.
Like, what is the Civ 5 quote? The internet is the first thing that man created that they doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right on. Right on.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Looking forward. We're almost done wrapping up our characters, so we're going to be recording some Coruscant Nights pretty soon. So excited about that. Hopefully, we just need to finish up DBs and we can schedule some sessions. So definitely looking forward to that. Thanks for coming on again tonight, guys. Definitely check out the Kickstarter. Throw them some love. Through the means of some dollars and to
or
get
shares, or just telling people, like, look how crazy these people are.
Right.
They're so dedicated to poverty that they're doing this thing.
Dedicated to
Like,
poverty.
you guys are collectors, you understand. You're like, bad use of money. Like, try starting a game company. Like, just set it on fire.
Put it on a pile, light it on fire, and call it a day.
So stay tuned. We'll be back next week. We'll probably talk more Acolyte next week, and then we are 1 month away approximately from our 100th episode. So I'm slowly letting out little hints. We have somebody booked, as long as their shooting schedule does not change the week of August 14th. We will have a legit Star Wars actor performer on the show. I will drop another little hint, which is he was in not the current version of Dark Matter, but there was a sci-fi series called Dark Matter, and he played a character in that show. So now I'm sure IMDb's getting hit. So with that, we'll get out of here. This is Brown Leader signing off for the crew, and you have been listening and watching Hyperspace Heroes. That's no moon.
Was it good for you?